Yo, what's up guys? I'm about to drop some lore bombs on ya. But first, our enemies are capable of kicking objects at you, and you can kick objects at them. So we've added a kicking and a stunned animation for our first enemy type. I've also decided to add a cool thing where we'll have the enemies draw their swords really quickly when you first enter a room before they start charging at you. What you're seeing here is just a rough test of it. The animation is not done yet, it's currently being worked on. Gonna add a few more frames and make it look nice, but it should be sick. We now have the first idle animation for our second enemy type in the game as well, the dashing swordsman. The rest of their animations are still to come. And now for the introduction of two major characters for the game's story. First up is Jones. Jones is an old friend of Genyu's, a former gangster, talented engineer, and now proprietor of a jazz bar. You'll be able to acquire new items and upgrades from him so long as you know how to ask the right questions. Fun trivia fact, my idea for Jones was originally inspired by the character of Butchie from The Wire.
No point trying to talk you back down, I suppose.
And second, we've got Jones's loud and lazy pet Rottweiler, Spike. And yes, I named him as a tribute to Cowboy Bebop. Spike likes to hang around the bar and not do much of anything, and he doesn't seem to like anyone either, except for Genyu for some reason. Another fun trivia fact, the idea for Spike was inspired by this series of funny videos that I like.
Shadow, relax, Shadow. Shadow, relax. Shadow, stop.
Now, two of the most popular comments on my last video were, I'm not buying this game unless I can pet the dog, and I'm not buying this game unless I can kill the dog. Well, guess what, folks? Originally, neither were going to be possible, but I've decided to make both possible. You'll be making dialogue choices and other types of choices throughout the game, the main purpose of which is to establish your character's personality and the relationship you have with the other characters. So I've planned it so that if you play your character with a specific personality type, then Spike will allow you to pet him. And as for killing him, you won't be able to do it directly. However, there may be a major plot point where you have to make a decision that may lead to Spike getting killed. So you can do it indirectly. You're welcome. I'm happy to announce that I have finished writing the narrative script up until the point where the demo will end, so I thought I'd share with you guys the basic outline and background of the plot. The game takes place on a fictional island whose culture borrows both from traditional Japanese as well as Western and urban influences. Technologically, the time period is somewhere around the early to mid-1900s with some creative liberties taken, but there are no vehicles, and the people on the island are divided between those who live in the rural areas and prefer the more traditional way of things, and those who live in the cities and are more modernized. The island was formerly ruled by a man referred to as the Governor, and he had a group of 5 elite soldiers, infamously known for the elaborate masks which they wore, who were known as the Samurai. One of these samurai was Genyu. One day, Genyu was caught partaking in some criminal activity on the side with his old pal Jones, and though normally the governor would have executed him as punishment, he had a soft spot for him, so he exiled him from the ranks of the samurai and had his arms severed instead, along with taking a vow never to fight or train anyone again. Some years later, the governor passed away of natural causes, and the 4 remaining samurai took his place. They divided the army and the island among themselves, and it wasn't long before they were at war with one another for control over the whole island. You, the unnamed player character, are simply a young man on a mission to be the best fighter on the island, and you know about Genyu and his reputation as the best of the samurai. So you went out searching for him, you found him, and he has agreed to train you. And he tells you that if you want to be the best fighter on the island, you need to beat the samurai. And after a year or so of training you, he tells you it's time to head out for your adventure. And that is where the game begins. The game story is going to be told from the perspective of your character in the future, as though he's looking back and writing a memoir about his journeys with Genyu and how he became the greatest fighter on the island. So there you go guys, hope you're all as pumped about this as I am. Next week we'll be finishing up that sword unsheathing animation for the first enemy, we're gonna have the first death sprites for our player, hopefully finish up the environment art for the first level, and I'll have an update for you on the game's music. Thanks for watching, please comment, like, and subscribe for regular updates on the game. And I'll see you next week. Peace.